Please, you are welcome to this session. I'm glad that you are able to join me, and I say, as you go on in this lesson, you pay good attention to this video. I have some objectives outlined, and at the end of this video, you should be able to achieve those objectives if you pay good attention. My name is Akomolafe DOB. Our topic today is 2 cash book. 2 cash book. Before we proceed, let's look at the objectives. So at the end of this video, at the end of this lesson, you should be able to define 2 cash book. You should be able to state the nature of 2 cash book. You should be able to explain contra entries, and you should be able to prepare 2 cash book. Okay, now last lesson we discussed 1 cash book, and we defined 1 cash book as a cash book that is used to record cash transactions. So we said only cash transactions go through the goes through the 1 cash book. Of course, bank transactions are not included in the 1 cash book. So your 2 cash book this time around is an account that combines both the cash and bank transactions in a single book. So your 2 cash book is a two-in-one account. Okay, so your 2 cash book shows all the bank and cash transactions of a business. Do you understand? Good. So it's just a book that combines the two accounts. Okay, it combines both the cash and bank transactions. So your 2 cash book is otherwise known as cash book. Okay, so you have the cash and bank columns on the debit side, you have the bank and cash column on the credit side. You must also remember that the essence of having these two accounts in one is for the sake of convenience, because a business could have a cash account separately from a bank account, but most times businesses will combine these two accounts just for the sake of convenience. Okay, so how does your 2 cash book look like? So it has column for dates, particulars, folio, and cash on both the debit and the credit sides. Okay, so all cash and check receipts are debited to the cash and bank columns respectively. Also, all cash and check payments are credited to the cash and bank columns respectively. Okay, so this takes us to the next one, the concept of contra entries. What is contra entry? Now, contra entry is simply a situation where you have two entries of a particular transaction in an account. Remember, all transactions must have at least two entries. All transactions must have at least two entries. So if a particular transaction, if the two entries for a particular transaction are found in an account, that is a contra entry. Now, as far as the cash book is concerned, 2 cash book. So where cash is deposited into the bank, or where cash is withdrawn from the bank for business use, that is contra entry. So contra entry could occur in either of these two cases, where cash is deposited into the bank account, or where cash is withdrawn from the bank account for business use. These two situations will give rise to contra entries. Do you understand? Okay. So the letter C is usually placed in the folio column to denote contra entry. So anytime there is a contra entry, you have to put the letter C in the folio column. Okay, note that. Thank you. So how does it look like? What is the format? So it's similar to your 1 column cash book. Your 2 column cash book is similar. The only difference is that this time around you are going to have 2 columns for your amount. 1 column for cash, the other column for bank on both sides of the cash book. So your debit side, you have all receipts. Your payment side, your credit side, you have payments, cash and check. Do you understand? So anytime cash or check is received into the business, you debit your cash and bank column respectively. Anytime cash or check is paid out of the business, you credit your cash and bank columns respectively. Okay? So let's solve an example now. Please, I need you to pause this video so that you'll be able to jot these questions down. As I explain, you'll be able to follow. Okay? Good. So the first day of May, balance brought forward was cash 1,050, bank 21,640. 2nd of May, sold goods for cash 6,050. Note this May 3rd transaction. Took 500 naira out of the cash till and paid it into the bank. This is a typical example of contra entry. Okay, you took cash out of the business, paid it into the bank account. That is contra entry. Note 4, May 4, received check from Tolu 2,170. May 5th, paid cash 600 naira for stamp. May 8th, bought goods for cash 900 naira. May 10, note this, withdrew 2,500 naira from the bank for office use. This is another contra entry situation. May 12, paid wages in cash. May 23, received loan from Bola by check. May 27, sold goods for cash. May 30th, paid for rates by check. So, shall we solve? Now, the first thing, you draw up your table, columns for dates, particulars, folio, cash, and bank on the debit side, the same columns on the credit side. You give your account a name, this time around 2 column cash book. So the first thing is to record the balances at the beginning of the period. The balances will be recorded on the debit side. Okay, so balance brought forward. Cash, how much? 1,050. Bank, 21,640. So these are the balances at the beginning. These are the amount of money that the business has at the beginning of the period. The first transaction, what was the transaction? Sold goods and received cash. So you debit your cash account because you receive cash for that. May 3rd, note this transaction is a contra entry. Okay, so it will appear on both sides of the account, on the debit and credit sides. Now, how will it appear? So you took cash and paid it into bank. So cash account is giving, bank account is receiving. So because cash account is giving, you will put the amount on that cash column on the credit side. Because bank is receiving this transaction, you will put that amount on the bank column on the debit side. Okay, so your particulars will now be what? So particulars for the credit side, you understand, will be the account that is receiving it. So bank, that is your particulars. While the particulars for the debit one will be what? Cash, because cash account is the giving account. Remember, your particulars is used to show the account where the corresponding entry will be. Do you understand? So do not forget, you must put your C in the folio column to show that is a contra entry transaction. Good. Next transaction, 4th of May, received from Tolu check 2,170 naira. Put that under the debit column, under the bank column on the debit side. Next transaction, 5th of May, paid for stamps 600 naira cash. 8th of May, Purchase goods by cash. So you paid out 900 naira. So you credit your cash account. The next date, so May 10th, 10th of May. Note this also. This is another contra entry situation. You withdrew cash from bank for business use. So can you now tell me the account that is giving or the account that is receiving? Yes, bank account is giving because you went to the bank, you took the money out of bank account. So bank account is giving, while the cash account is the receiving account. So that means you will put this transaction on the debit side. Cash account is receiving, put the amount under cash account and put the amount under bank account on the credit side. Okay, so can you tell me the particulars now for on the debit side? The particulars on the debit side will be say bank, while the particulars on the credit side will be cash. Next, you have to put the folio. Put the C to show that it is contra entry. Next transaction, May 12th, paid wages, how much? 230 naira by cash. You paid, so you debit your cash account. Do not forget. 23rd, received loan from Bola, how much? 800 naira by check. So it will be under the bank column on the debit side because you received loan. Okay. 27th, sold goods and received what? Cash. So 2000 naira, because you're receiving it, it will be on the debit side. Good. May 30th, paid for rates, how much? 180 naira by check. It will be on the credit side because you are paying. Okay. Now, on May 31st, you have to balance your account. And how do you balance your account? Remember, I told you to balance off your account, you have to add up the items on the debit side, add up the items on the credit side, then you find the difference of the two. Now, let's see. Adding up the items on the debit side for cash column first. Let's calculate for cash column. So the total on the debit side for cash column is 12,100. The total on the credit side for cash column is 1,730. So the difference between these two is 10,370. That will be the balance CD for cash column, which will be placed on the credit side. Let's do that of bank column. So the debit side of your bank column, the total is 24,610, while the credit column, the total is 3,180. The difference is what? 21,430 naira. That will also be placed on the credit side as your balance CD. Now, let's see how it looks like. So, that is your balance CD for both cash and bank columns respectively. So the next thing is what? The totals. So when you add up everything, you will discover that the two sides will be equal. The essence of putting the balance CD there is so that the two sides will be equal. Okay, so that balance CD, you now bring it down as your balance brought down at the end of the month. So the same amount you wrote as balance CD is your balance. Balance CD is your balance BD. Okay, now this balance BD represents the cash you have in hand and the cash you have at bank at the end of the period, which will still be the amount you have in hand and the amount you have at bank at the beginning of next month. Okay, so do not forget. So your balance BD represents the amount of cash you have in hand or the amount of cash you have at bank at the end of the period. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have enjoyed yourself today. So in this lesson, we discussed what two-column cash book is. Okay, so it is an account that contains both cash and bank accounts. Okay, so all you have to do is just have your cash and bank column on the debit side, your cash and bank column on the credit side. Okay, so and you have to balance off your accounts. I told you, add all the items on the debit side, add the other items on the credit side, find the difference. You have your balance CD. Okay, so Thank you for listening in. Thank you for watching this video. Remember, like I always say, if you have any question, do not hesitate to forward your questions to me, as I'll be willing to answer your questions. All right. So until we meet next time, I say enjoy yourself.